Do you believe that you've done anything to create a tone where this kind of violence would be encouraged?
I hope not. I truly hope not. I will say this. We have 25,000, 30,000 people. You've seen it yourself. People come with tremendous passion and love for the country. And when they see protesting, I see it. There is some anger. There's also great love for the country. It's a beautiful thing in many respects, but I certainly do not condone that at all, Jake.
Some of your critics point to quotes that you've made at these rallies, including February 23rd, "I'd like to punch him in the face," referring to a protester. February 27th, in the good old days, they'd have ripped him out of that seat so fast. February 1st, knock the crap out of him, would you? Seriously, okay, just knock the hell. I promise you, I will pay for the legal fees. I promise, I promise.
We have some protesters who are bad dudes. They have done bad things. They are swinging. They are really dangerous. And they get in there and they start hitting people. And we had a couple big, strong, powerful guys doing damage to people. Not only the loudness I don't mind, but doing serious damage. And if they're going to be taken out, I be honest, I mean, we have to run something. And it's not me.
That was Donald Trump taking some tough new questions about violence at his rallies. Those came after two high-profile incidents in the last 48 hours, including an attack on a protester at a Trump rally and the alleged assault of a reporter by Trump's campaign manager. That's been denied by said campaign manager. Joining me now, Chris Steyerwalt, Fox News digital politics editor, Barry Bennett, who's an informal advisor to the Trump campaign, and Howard Kurtz, who's host of Fox News Media Buzz. Barry, let me start with you on this, because there was a protester showed up at one of Trump's rallies today and was punched in the face by one of the attendees at Trump's rally. And now the man who did the punching is under arrest. He's been charged. And the video is very disturbing. Here he was earlier today. Watch.
Lying texters, you put the Bible down, then you lie.
Oh!
What'd you like about it?
Knocking the hell out of that big mouth. We don't know who he is, but we know he's not acting like an American.
So you deserved it?
Every bit of it.
What was that?
Yes, he deserved it. The next time we see him, we might have to kill him.
Your thoughts?
You know, unfortunate. But, you know, I mean, I go back to Reagan rallies in '84 at Ohio State, you know, and they were dragging protesters down the aisle. I mean, it's always been a problem. Obviously, Donald Trump is a target for these protesters. They don't come there to peacefully protest what he's saying. They come to cause trouble. And you get some people in the crowd who are too amped up and they want to do something about it. There's police at these rallies. If something happens, you should get a policeman and let them fix it.
So the problem with that, Chris, is, you know, what is the evidence of people at the rallies trying to cause physical violence? You know, what we've seen in a couple of instances is protesters who, you know, Black Lives Matter, they stand up, they say what they're going to say, but then they get jostled or they get, I mean, you can see the violence, you can see the anger at some of the protesters by some in the Trump. There's this one guy in the red hat that we've seen on this video over and over. Just look at this guy on the right, shouting as these guys get escorted out. And the thing Tapper was trying to raise is Trump is on camera repeatedly saying they should have punched him in the face. In my day, they would have gone out on a stretcher.
When you say that somebody ought to get punched in the face, a protester ought to get punched in your face, and somebody gets punched in the face, we can't pretend that these are totally disconnected items. I thought in this debate, I was stunned, shocked that Cruz and Rubio both whiffed on that question. Kasich didn't take it up. They all ducked that question because instead of saying Donald Trump has created an atmosphere in which he incites people to greater rage, and he talked about, and in a seemingly understanding way, that he said it was because of bad trade deals or whatever, but that people are angry and sometimes it's going to spill out. That those guys on that stage didn't take Trump to task on that, I thought was reflective of an overall weak performance on everybody's part when it came to holding Trump to account. I
mean, Howie, in a way, it's like that embodied why Donald Trump has been so successful. They're scared of him. I mean, they're scared of him. They're scared of alienating his supporters. And it's not like, okay, so Rubio needed to dial back the personal stuff. He said that. But like, he didn't even engage on policy.
You know, I thought that Donald Trump, that was the most dangerous moment of the debate for him, and I thought he handled it reasonably well. And yes, it was quite amazing. They almost have smoked a peace pipe beforehand because the other candidates didn't take him on that question. And when they did have some fairly sharp exchanges on policy, there was no, Lion Ted and Little Marco. There was no finger pointing. They kept their voices down. I think they all decided for their own reasons to be more serious and high-minded. Trump, obviously, actually, he told me in an interview yesterday, he expected a milder tone to this debate. He wanted to appear presidential. Marco Rubio told you.
He did the right thing with that. He did the right thing. The question is whether the other guys who tell us that they're still in this race, they want us to pay attention to them and believe they have a path, whether they did the right thing.
They dialed it back so much that they did absolutely nothing to dent Donald Trump's lead,
right.
And the clock is ticking very loudly.
You tell me Barry's past his prologue, right? It's like, you keep doing what you've been doing, you're probably going to get the same results. And Trump has a point when he says, Ted Cruz has won 6 or 7 states, but I won 13. Like,
well, two of the three of them have absolutely no chance mathematically of becoming the nominee. I don't even know why they're on the stage, right? Except for this dream of somehow a brokered convention makes John Kasich president. I don't quite get that. But the crowds are angry because America is angry. And, I guarantee you're going to see this thing through the fall. People are so upset.
But let me
with their
challenge you on
government.
that. Let me challenge on you. And I don't mean to diminish anybody's anger. I work here at the Fox News Channel. I've hosted this show for many years, and I understand how Republican voters feel. However, red hat guy, and that level of vitriol when the candidate, who is very powerful and very beloved in that crowd, says the stuff he says. I mean, you tell me whether you think Trump needs to do better than that. He needs to do better than that.
I agree with you, Megan, but you can walk into any VFW, American Legion, or tavern across America in a small town and find 15 people like that. They're so angry that no one is fighting for them, and they're willing to do it themselves. Now, that's not Donald Trump's doing, but it is certainly Donald Trump has tapped into that anger.
Chris, did anything change in this race tonight?
Yeah, one thing changed, that Cruz and Rubio abandoned the most effective argument that anybody has ever made against Donald Trump. It's never about policy. It's never about positions, because those are fungible with Mr. Trump. What they abandoned were the effective character attacks on Donald Trump that, for whatever reason, they believed that they were going to stop. If they mean to beat Donald Trump, and at this point it's pretty much down to Cruz, but if he means to beat Donald Trump, he has to beat him on the grounds that Donald Trump is not fit to be president, that Cruz says that he is not worthy of the job, not their disagreements over trade policy. It's got to be about the man himself. It's got to be a referendum on Trump, and they dropped that.
Chris, I would say that they surrendered that.
I got to leave it at that. At the white flag surrender. Excellent to see all of you. Thank you for being here.